Hi, my name is Jennifer. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share my reading plans for spooky season. I look forward to spooky season every year. I'm not much of a horror reader, but I always quite enjoy the horror that I do pick up, so I make plans for spooky season from quite early on in the year. We have a nice range here, I would say. We have a classic, we have a couple of rereads, we have some translated fiction, some short stories and some YA as well. Obviously I'm going to be starting these reading plans in October. It's almost certainly going to run on into November because I have got other reading that I want to do in October, including a couple of books I need to read for book clubs and book a shortlisted reading to do as well. So let's get into the spooky season reading plans. The first reread is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. This was a book I read for the first time a few years ago and absolutely loved. I feel like this could be a favourite classic for me. So I want to reread it to sort of cement it in my mind. It's such a short book, but I love absolutely everything about it, so I'm super excited to reread Frankenstein. And my other reread is The Little Stranger by Sarah Waters, so I'll be rereading this, I'll be buddy reading this with Tiffany from Towering TBR. This will be our third Sarah Waters buddy read, and this will conclude my little reading project where I've been rereading all of Sarah Waters' novels. So controversially, The Little Stranger is definitely my least favourite by Sarah Waters, and my memory of reading this the first time round, and I think it may have been one of the first of hers I picked up, but my memory of this book is that it's kind of boring and not a lot happens. So I'm really hoping that on a reread I change my opinion on that, because I can't believe I would say such a thing about a Sarah Waters novel, quite frankly. So this is very gothic and sort of spooky, set in an old home where this doctor, I think he's a doctor? Yeah, he's a doctor. He's called to see a patient at this old home, and then weird stuff goes on. Next, okay, out of all these books, this is the one that I'm probably the most excited for. And if there was ever a 5-star prediction, it's this book. And this is Foe by Iain Reid. So the reason I say it's a 5-star prediction is because I think, as far as I know, Iain Reid has written 3 novels. And the other 2 that I've read, We Spread and I'm Thinking of Ending Things, I gave both 5 stars. So I'm hoping for another 5 stars here. I think Iain Reid does creeping, slow build dread so well. The premise of this sounds good. The blurb doesn't give too much away, but we have a married couple living an isolated life on a farm, and then one day a stranger arrives and tells them that the man has been selected to travel far away from the farm. It doesn't give too much away, but I'm hoping for some feelings of dread. Next is another one I've been meaning to read for the longest time, and it's The Hole by Hye-Young Pyun, translated from Korean by Sora Kim Russell. This is described on the top as a Korean take on misery. So this is about a man who's been in a car accident that killed his wife, and he ends up living with his mother-in-law, who is looking after him. And this mother-in-law, I think, is like digging holes in the garden. So it sounds weird. I've heard lots of great things about it. And this is also, this is one of those books that just feels very pleasing to hold as well. Next we have, I think, a bit of gothic horror. This is The Whistling by Rebecca Netley. I've had this out from the library for a little while, and I thought I'll just hang on and read it in October. So we have a young woman who arrives on a remote Scottish island to become a nanny to a young child. But this child has not spoken for months. There are lots of secrets going on in the house. Strange dolls appear in abandoned rooms, apparently, which sounds terrifying. So yeah, I'm hoping for lots of spooky secrets and gothic vibes from that one. Next is The Rats by James Herbert. So I read The Fog by James Herbert last year and really enjoyed it. I picked up The Rats and The Fog, I think, from the same charity shop a couple of years ago. So, I mean, I'm assuming this is about killer rats. So I'm looking forward to that. Next, this book was actually on my spooky season TBR last year and I didn't get round to it. This is The Anomaly by Michael Rutger. It's not The Anomaly by Vela Telia, which is the more famous Anomaly that was published in recent years. So this is about a TV crew in the Grand Canyon who is searching for hidden treasures down below, and then they find something terrifying underground. It's described as Michael Crichton meets Stephen King. This book is on my shelves because I got it randomly in like a book box I used to subscribe to. It's got a picture. So it's not one I've sort of like particularly hunted out and wanted to read, but I think if I'm ever going to read it, spooky season is the time. Some more translated fiction now, and we have The Diving Pool by Yoko Ogawa. This is translated from Japanese by, is it? By Stephen Snyder. So this is a collection of 3 short stories, novellas. I imagine these may be somewhat unsettling and disturbing. I've read several books by Yoko Ogawa. My favourite is Revenge. But the last one I read was Hotel Iris, which was a lot. That book is a lot. So I'm hoping this is not quite to the level of Hotel Iris, but I'm sure it will be rather disturbing. And next we have a short story collection. This is The Dangers of Smoking in Bed by Mariana Enriquez, who is an Argentinian author. This is translated from the Spanish by Megan McDowell. It's blurbed on the front actually by Kazuo Ishiguro. Beautiful, horrible, the most exciting discovery I've made in fiction for some time. So that bodes well. This is what was on the International Booker a couple of years ago. It's very popular. I think it's going to be some kind of twisted and disturbing, and yeah, really looking forward to that. And then I have another short story collection, and we have sort of some classic ghost stories. This is Ghost Stories by M.R. James. This is one that I picked up from a charity shop a little while ago. I have read some M.R. James before. My potential issue with this is the writing is really tiny, like it's super small. So, I mean, I don't know. It might be okay because I'm going to be like dipping in and out of it because it is short stories. If it was a novel, I would have no chance. But we'll see how we get on with that. And then finally, to finish, I've got 2 YA books that I want to read. The first is The Haunting of Tyrese Walker by J.P. Rose. I really, really like this cover. So we have a young boy called Tyrese who goes to visit family in Jamaica, and then weird things start happening. And he thinks he's being hunted by the mysterious Shadow Man. It's blurbed by Yvette Fielding. Interesting. Yes, looking forward to that. And then the other YA that I want to read is one that was recently published. Actually, when was this from? This might be quite recent as well. This was from last year. This is from this year. The Changing Man by Tomi Oyemakinde. So this sounds good. This is set in a school where there's some sort of strange presence. Students are disappearing, and if they return at all, they are uncannily changed. So it sounds good. I always like a book with a school setting. It looks like it's got like little bits of mixed media, little like text messages and different things like that. But I'm looking forward to that. So those are all my plans for spooky season. Do let me know if you've read any of them, what you thought, and let me know what your reading plans are for spooky season. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Bye.